Back to Crown Falls, now also equipped with engineers tier 4 buildings. Without further ado, let's continue right away with my next productions. I've used now the last clay deposits, so all 4 clay deposits in Crown Falls are used to get in more bricks. Of course, we have around 8 sawmills now producing the timber, and steel beams, it's still a bit low. Windows is looking very good. I would, however, still like to expand this once more, so we can go ahead with the next sand mine with another glass maker. Let's just quickly check it out. So we have 30 seconds, 30 seconds, and 1 minute. That means I can afford 2 more window makers, and I should be doing this because we want to get more of that industry in, more of that building materials. We need to think about scaling now, right? So we need to think about the grand scheme of things. We need to think that right now we have 26,000 people. However, of course, long-term wise, we want to go to 100 to 200,000 people and beyond. And for that, I do need a proper scalable industry, and we need to think about outsourcing. Crown Falls is not going to be used anymore for sausage production and soap production. We still have this here going. However, we do have a very good island, Ketester, down here, that it will do the job just much better. For Ketester, I would like to start by enabling this island for the higher tier production. And what does it need for that? Yeah, well, it does need depots, of course. Let's go ahead with 3 depots, each one of them providing another 50 tons of storage. And then we can unload everything that we have. Let's get my Royal Clipper right back to Crown Falls. Also, we need to start getting some more people in here for workers. We have 1,600 farmers, not enough workers, and the industry that we have in mind requires a lot of workers. So we can just go ahead here by upgrading basically all these people there. As long as I have the timber, we are fine with that. Like so. Very good. Let's also just change the appearances there to something colorful, right? And actually, we're not going to make this colorful after all. I'm going to change it to a darker tone, Ketester. Because why? Ketester is going to be an industry island completely. So it is going to have dirty pollution. It's going to have slaughterhouses. It's not an island where usually colorful people live, right? Rather depressing look I want to have for Ketester. And we have, of course, also the right prerequisites. And that is the iron deposits over here that we're going to enable now. The iron deposit over here that I would like to have, and the iron deposit over here where we already have a road connection to it. And of course, all of them will also receive their proper warehouses. This is the first step. There you go. Step 2 with a warehouse, and then of course also the third one with a warehouse then attached to this as well. Where do we have? There we have the coal deposits. One, unfortunately, they're all spread out, and I will need to have a warehouse for each one of them. Right, so this one, the next one we have down here that will also need its warehouse, and then we have one more here. It still will need its own warehouse because it's just too far away, and they produce quickly, right? So they produce at a rate of 4 per minute, so there's lots of carts that are going to go back and forth. That is one thing. The other thing is our wood production. We already have some logs, of course, but of course we do need more. So I'm going ahead with another lumberjack hut here, another one here. We can still go with one here and one here. All of them have 100%. And even 95% would be totally fine as well to supply that. Very good. Some timber is rolling in. Let's continue with the upgrading for Ketester. So there we still have lots of that. Checking out quickly if the consumption rates are fine. Work cloth is a bit negative now, and we probably should also just build one more fishery for now. That is going to supply my people with fish. And over here we have it, right? So this is with a sheep farm. Let's have a second one, and then 2 framework knitters to support that population. And schnapps-wise, let's have one more here. And also another potato farm right next to this, where we can then build just as easily. Very good. So there is some improved production with that now for Ketester. Next up is the oil. Oh, by the way, I can see there is a share that has been purchased. Next up is the oil. The oil is going to go with a train then all the way here to an oil harbor. And yeah, with that, I think it makes total sense to have a huge industry zone now here at the end of the main road. There is going to be a gate then with industrial walls. We're just going to block this one off, and then it goes into this industrial zone. Attacks, of course, they're very frequent. My ships have arrived, by the way, so we have a bigger fleet now. It's probably a plague or something. And also, my Mackerel has arrived with the weapons and stuff, and so we can now reinforce my defenses, right? So I would like to have one more for each one of these islands. That means 10 more down here for Martinez. The bricks I would like to keep. Quite the opposite, I would like to take 100 tons more bricks with us. And steel beams we have plenty of here as well. I'm going to send it over to Sohom. So over here we can still build more defenses then. And in Martinez I can already go ahead with the next one right away. Let's actually get this one, yeah, up there. And for your information, I'm keeping a bit of a space here in between for having for reducing the spread fire damage, right? So they're going to receive spread fire damage from the ship of the lines, for example, and it just makes sense to have that like so. Unfortunately, yeah, we have the fish oil factory there, so right now let's just keep this one as it is, like so. That's better. And ship is on the way. We can continue with our scaling industry. So in that case, there's going to be an industrial brick wall, and then we're going in here into this. We do need to make one thing sure right away, that we have trade unions available, right, for this one. So I would like to plan all of this with trade unions in mind. We have one here, capacity, and they can't overlap, so we'll have the next one a bit further down here. Something like so. And then we can have another one up here for this area. Let's make the industry starting actually something a bit further up there. And yeah, sorry, let's speed it up. Alright, there it is once more. So we have now 30 steelworks, 30 furnaces. We also have around 10 steelworks. And don't forget, this is all getting boosted with electricity. And this is also going to be boosted with items. So that should be the maximum that we need for quite a while. There's some pirate. We can use the new cannon towers there right away. Very good. And let's also unlock or unload some more resources here. So I would like to have 2 more that we can afford, and then I'm going to take the rest with me once more over there to Don Galoche, as it's called, I think. And with that we can have 2 more, and let's get the timber over as well, and that should be fine then for this island, right? We will have then quite a lot of defenses there on both ports, so Miss Hunt can try what she wants. I think she could go down here rather easily with that. It could be close, it could be close. We'll just see about that. But of course that is not all, and Ketester will not have the workforce to support everything. So what we're going to do is now also starting with the commute pier. I can have the first one already. Let's have it for now somewhere over here, because that is certainly not its final destination, but it's definitely going to help us out for now. First commute pier, and the second one we can then just easily get cracking here. Perhaps even be squeezing it in here to my depots. I think that would make sense. And with that we have now a shared workforce between Crown Falls and Ketester, making this one really useful for us without having to expand the city all the time endlessly. Let's quickly check it out. Yep, we can still go ahead and upgrade a few more. We should, by the way. We have way too many farmers, so that's definitely something we can have then over there. And let's go ahead and add them to the skins as well. Lots of preparation we really need to do for this industry. And by the way, this is all the steel that we're ever going to need, most likely. They're also used by the trade unions then, the steelworks for steel beams. And then there's also some minor weapon production, right? And the industry sector, of course, continues then into that area later, once we need it for the brass production. Actually, rather soon, I think. Harbor area and electricity. Who is attacking? Oh, no. I think we're going to lose that ship. Oh my goodness, that was close. That was Miss Hunt. That was not the pirate. Miss Hunt actually tried to destroy my clipper there. She left some loot. Let's build that one. And let's build another one here. And let's also upgrade that trade post there. I will need more... Oh, we have the bricks. Soap. As always, Miss Hunt is very clean. By the looks of it. I'm really worried about her military strength at this point. There we can build it. Very good. Where's my score now with all of that? 172 to 300. With Bente we are 172 to 284 and Hugo is at 195, so he's not that strong. And then we got the pirates. Of course, I would like to aim for ceasefire and more down the road. But right now, this doesn't seem very good. Also, building materials have arrived for my very important repair crane. Very expensive. Let's actually hide this one here. So that... Oh, that doesn't make sense. Let's have it here. So that we have it close to any kind of ship that gets close in here, right? That's very important. Looking good though. The sector seems to be clear and we can go back to Ketester. Now with Ketester we get more building materials in, so we got 200 tons of timber and bricks now, and that means we can basically start with all of that. I would like to go ahead, have this mine here, and then we have this mine here, this mine, and then of course the same with the coal. That means we have now 12 tons per minute for all of these goods, and that leads me to around 24 furnaces that we could build now. So 6 of them. Sorry. Bit of a math problem. Oh god, not. That is when you have to act under pressure. And yeah, Miss Hunt destroyed one of my clippers here. It's fine though. It's just the clipper, nothing else. Where's my fleet? Fleet ready. So this defense here will not be enough, right? That's where I have my fleet for. They can help out. And I'm probably going to push them down here actually, because it's safer, I think, a bit further over there. I think that might be safer. We just need to have a look at that quite often. Alright, so that means now 6 furnaces that I can start with. Let's go ahead with the first one. Let's build the fire station. Let's build the first block here, basically. They're actually not that expensive when it comes to the raw material production or consumption. Those 6 here, that's that. Costing me 100 per piece, so that's 600 on the maintenance. That's rather cheap, but also 600 workers. That is a bit more expensive than what you might want to go for. At the same time, what we can still do in Crown Falls is finally use the limestone deposit. So we got the first one here because we have to unlock the next building material, that is the reinforced concrete. Without that, we will not be able to do that much with engineers. Let's get one started here, and they're not that fast, only 2 per minute. And I can have another one then just safely here in this mountain area. Make the connection done. There you go. And start building the next limestone deposit. This area, and that's just very good that we are now close by, is going to be another industry zone, right? So it's just perfect for that. We can separate it a bit from the city. It's very close to the mountain, so it makes sense to have a bit of a mountain industry here. Bear in mind, I'm not going to have high pollution industry in Crown Falls, because I think that's just ugly. We still need to have industry though, because of course, you need industry for every city. It's just natural, it just looks like it, and people need to have work, of course, close by as well. So to some extent, we just need to have it. Let's start by having some police station and fire station for the whole area. That's just fine, right? The range will be golden. Once again, also, we do need to provide trade unions. So let's go with the first one a bit further over here. And the second one that we can then use for this area. Unfortunately, we don't have any bigger ones. We could even go with another one in this area then. Right, even though it will not be fully utilized, it still should be fine. As influence, I'm not expecting that influence is a big deal. You don't need to have trade unions connected with the streets. I'm still doing this because I think it makes sense. It looks better overall, and for me, I just need to have it like that. Ah, yeah, she's really keen on Sholix. Miss Hunt. And once again, we also need to get cracking with this. I'm sorry if I'm too fast right now, but it's just absolutely what we need. As there's just a lot of AI pressure coming in from time to time now, and we have so much industry ahead of us. The first one is this one. So this area is now ready for action, and there's going to be 2 things here that I want to push. The first one, of course, is that we have the reinforced concrete. right? So that's this one here. The steel is coming in now from Ketester then, and the concrete factories we're going to have here. The concrete factories do not cause pollution and do also not cause any negative attractiveness. So this is something we can go ahead with right away, and probably, or wait a second, we also have the harbor area. That would actually be, I think, better for it. Now, let's have it here. I would like to squeeze it in just by the mountain, so it's also hiding the mines in the background, right? And yeah, we can just have a few of them. We don't need to boost them necessarily with any trade unions and stuff like that. And the ratio here is they produce every 1 minute, so we can have for the 2 that we have, we can build 4 of them right away. And we should be doing this. Let's go ahead, build the warehouse, and let's build 3 here and 1 here once I can afford it, of course. Expensive as always. Probably can't hurt to have another warehouse then for that one here too. That's going to be those guys. This one has its access, and yeah, there we get now all the concrete coming out here, the limestone. I love these buildings, very detailed, all of them. I don't show it often enough. There you go. It is also important that we continue upgrading in Crown Falls because we are getting a bit low there on the workers with consuming all of them. So we do have some expansion over here. And here. And of course here in the main area we can also just go mass expansion for the whole inner city. Probably also here. Wherever there is a connection to the school. Next, beside the reinforced concrete, we are going to have the sewing machine factories up here now. So we can also boost them with the trade union then. Further down the road. I think we can actually squeeze in 2 there. Very close, but nope. I will need to move that road here once more. And then it should be fine. Yeah, it's just because of the mountain. It's always tricky. I will not be able to do it. So we need to do it like so after all. And of course we should not forget that sewing machines get boosted with a train with oil. So I'm going to have my rail network here. The connection comes in then, right? And then moves right here into the whole industry sector. And we're only going to try to make this as minimal invasive as possible by having it then just somewhere here. And I hope that I can, yep, we can make it like this. And the train comes in here. And the power station will probably be then in this area. Yeah, actually let's make it instead of this one. Having it right here in the center of it all should work best. We're going to keep this area available, and this should then electrify the whole area. So this is going to be sewing machine madness, and most of them we can then actually also get in with a trade union. Let's move the trade union over here, because with this I can actually get in all of them, almost all of them, and the warehouse will then just be situated here. Now let's make 2 of them, because the demand for carts will be quite high in this district then too. That's the sewing machine industry that is also now up and running, and we can further down the road boost it. Meanwhile, Miss Hunt is getting a bit too close to my island, and I would like to use this to take over this island of hers. There is some clay deposits, and there's, oh, she has sea mines already in the area. That is nasty. Let's pull them back right away. I wanted to try and take it over, but since everything here is plastered with sea mines by now, and you can see this because it's an instant explosion, we will not be able to get this island, as wooden ships especially are very, very fragile when it comes to sea mines and take heavy damage. So I need to wait for my steam ships before we can do any of that. Very good. So let's get them back home. No problem. I will take this island there anyway at some point. Most likely. Let's pop out more Royal Clippers and also more Royal Warships. So 2 of each type, and then another Royal Clipper, as we're going to need a lot of them now for the trade routes to come. And
just say the word.
We can go ahead actually and go crazy with the next batch of sewing furnaces then. So let's have the warehouse here, and let's have another 6 of them. And then also the first 3 weapon factories that we can have also in Ketester. Let's have another steel factory here and here. Look at the fumes coming out of that. This is going to be an interesting area that we can then boost with all sort of things. Next up is we can actually start ahead already with the first trade routes. I would still Now, actually, we can do this. Hesperus is going to be on that first trade route here. It's going to belong right away to the Trelawney group, and it's going to basically go between Ketester and Crown Falls now. And the main reason here is in Ketester, it's going to take, bear in mind, it can take 100 tons per cargo slot, right? So we're going to take steel away from it. We're going to take a 2 times steel. We're going to take 2 times steel beams. And we're going to take 1 times the weapons. And this is all going then over here to Crown Falls. And in Crown Falls, we're going to take iron ore. Nah, we're going to make a separate trade route for that. I think it's safer. And yeah, let's go ahead. Hesperus, you're going to start with that. We have 5 slots available, 6 slots available. I'm actually going to make this a bit different in saying that we can take up to 300 tons of steel either way, right? So this is now in my Trelawney group, together with the beef, and the cotton here is in Newbold. So we keep it all grouped up orderly. Very good. So this is on its way. There's going to join a second ship in that ASAP once we have it finished. Let's actually commission another one right away. We have 9 influence left, so not that much actually. Not as much as I hope we would have at this point. Another thing I would like to do in Titan right away is also building some... Yeah, let's build some 2 more. Let's build some 3 more of the red pepper. And let's also have another one of the cattle and 2 more here of the cattle, because we definitely want to get more resources in. Also boosting my warehouses also slightly. Let's desperately try to cling to a good relationship with Bente. I cannot afford any money though. We're 84 with Hugo. Alliance is still a 0 chance. Non-aggression pact. Would she actually... She would demand 600,000 with that. Insane. I'm not doing that. This is already an indication that she might turn a bit more hostile towards us. Second trade route is going to be between Crown Falls and Ketester. And we're going to say this time we want to take iron ore and coal from Crown Falls and get it all the way over to Ketester. And Godspeed can start on this trade route. So we do need these raw materials in, by the way. Also move it to our Trelawney group. And with that, what I can do now is I can now get rid of this industry in Crown Falls that we no longer need with that. I'm going to wait just a few more seconds because, you know, there's going to be, of course, a bit of a transition phase. We do have still some iron deposits and coal deposits available that I would also like to use now. So this one and this one. And then we already have... iron for those 2 and iron deposit for this one. And yeah, it's really cheap to just build it. Let's just go ahead, build 3 more iron mines. Bear in mind, we don't need iron only for the furnaces, also for canneries, for example, for canned food and other industries down the road. So we should definitely leave some iron production then for Crown Falls as well. Another bridge. So we are, by the way, now all the way up here on this plateau where we have this beautiful view over Crown Falls and the plague area that is going to grow from now on. But of course, enjoying the view is not something I can do right now. I can afford right now. Let's build another iron mine with its appropriate warehouse. And coal mine it was. We have used all the coal now. There's still one more up here and this one. It's very important that we use all of that appropriately. We're down to 500 negative workers now. That's of course to be expected. I can still go ahead with some more upgrading. And of course also repairing those ruins. There is more farmers. And here in this district. And then here close to my plantations. This one and... yeah, I think we can also go ahead with just this district there. Or these houses there. Should equal the balance again. Don't forget, though, we are going to have some industries removed now soon. With steel and steel beams now coming over to Crown Falls for the first time, I think it's safe to say that the transition phase is over. And I can now get rid of the nasty pollution that is all the furnaces, all the steel works that we have, and all the weapon factories. Already my attractiveness goes up and the workforce, of course, is stabilizing a lot. And with that, we have this whole area available then for other uses, especially for our city then. For my docklands, I would like to use another module that we can have for the next export office, and this is going to be a bit of a vital thing now here with the soap. The soap has still not upgraded really, right? It's not even close. So what I can do here now is I would like to finally also get rid of one of my productions, which would be the potato production. We right now do have a schnapps consumption of 33 per minute, which would lead to around 330 tons of potatoes, which only is around 100 soap. We can further bump it up to 230, leading to 400 potatoes that we get out of it. And this is already fine. So let's get rid of this production there, as we are using all of the soap now for the potatoes, for 400 tons of potatoes for that. We have a surplus of 6 that leads to 120, so we can afford the surplus. However, it's a bit narrow. So I would like to go ahead and continue here with a few more, a bit more production then down the road. So we can have this. And let's also build 2 more, together with another 2 rendering works and a soap factory. Propaganda-wise, I'm going full out propaganda at the moment with all of that we have. We have the influence, so it's fine. But of course, my opponents don't really like propaganda that much, except for Hugo Mercier, perhaps. That's that. So soap production is in for all the potatoes that we need. 9 more minutes for Tobias to arrive. Right now we have a surplus of 300 potatoes already. That means, yep, I can officially get rid of all of them now. Let's do this. And boom, look at the space that we get out of this one. It's beautiful. We already have a marketplace close by, so all I need to do really is we could copy just this whole thing there. I would not copy it one by one. We have a main road here that I would like to extend over, right? So here we probably can only have a 1 row area, like so. And then here, this is all another main road, right? That leads then into this main road there. Also need to adjust some of these blocks here to have something proper. This is where usually a train goes through then, or we could also remove the single house road there for a train network that leads then into another electricity plant for this whole city there, for this whole district there. We continue with the marketplace. The marketplace reach, unfortunately, is going to be reached then here. For now, though, we can definitely add more houses, either this way or this way. Let's go ahead with that way. 2 rows we can have with probably a nice alley or something like that in the center. And then some normal blocks. Let's have some smaller blocks, as I also like them once they look fully developed. This one. And we definitely will need to have then a marketplace and also a pub for this area. And don't forget, we need to get rid of the marketplace and the pub again at some point later. That, and then we can just have some normal blocks here and here. And let's also use this layout here with a bigger courtyard then, so we can add some bigger ornaments into these ones later. With that, the whole area is finished. Let's build the marketplace and let's build all of these houses right away. And where there were just potato farms, now we have a proper city that is emerging. Of course, there's more iron and coal now coming in, so I would like to use this to finish a few more furnaces. This one, let's add those 4 additional ones. And yeah, this is a really high pollution now. She actually is disgusted by that on my main island. This is not my main island, Bente. You should open your eyes. Let's continue then here with the main road.
Pollution, I fear, is...
One thing I can use this area that we've opened up now is for the schnapps distilleries. So we do still need to provide tons of schnapps for Crown Falls. And that is exactly what the purpose of this area is going to be for now. We don't need to boost these schnapps distilleries. They only serve a purpose temporarily for now. And later on we can remove them again. So let's just go ahead with a bunch of them. We do need to have, we already have 16, which is not enough. So I'm calculating at the moment with around, let's say 30. That should be fine long-term wise for the whole city. So we can just take this whole batch then and move it then also over. Have the fire station. That's already 16. And with that we have 8 more leading to 24. And then let's have another 8 here leading to 32, which lead to 64 tons of schnapps per minute later down the road, if I want to really go that high, right? And we use the warehouses already, so I'm not going to build them again, of course. We're just going to move them over. Of course, fire stations. Let's have 2 fire stations. That should be safer. An attack. Ah, there is something here, a frigate by Miss Hunt, of Miss Hunt. As always, there is some loot here. Looking good so far. We're still at war, of course, with Miss Hunt. It's not going to change anymore to peaceful times, I think. With her. Alright, that's all looking nice and dandy now. Steel production is up. Steel beams production is up. And this is all getting over then here for my sewing machine factories that are also working at 115, 120. That is also fine because I don't need to have more than that right now. I think we have a nice surplus of 3, makes it 60 for 20 minutes. So we could use still 50 tons of sewing machines for logs right now. I'm probably going to use it for something else so soon. Now, since we still have a bit of money, I would like to start getting into the investment business a bit. So with Hugo Mercy here, for example, his Peace Island, we would have a share value here of 800 for 175,000 coins. So we could purchase this and get 800 on the balance in addition. And since that is his main island, it's only getting more powerful and more worth it down the road. Let's quickly check it out for Miss Hunt. It's at 115,000. That's not her main island though. This is her main island. We have a way better value, 185,000 for 1,200 share value. And then I would like to check out Bente as well. And here we have a bit of a worse value than Miss Hunt. And Miss Hunt is our adversary. So let's go ahead and start pushing into the share business as well. Investors, we can afford it. And we get immediately the share value out of that. That is now adding 1,200 to our income as long as she's not purchasing it back, which she probably won't. And in that case here, we could further invest any surplus that we have into shares to boost our economy even further. And with that, we think we have a good foundation for now, and I would like to continue here then onwards. Stay tuned.